Hello and welcome to week 2 of ABL's top plays. Starting us off at number 5, White Lotus looked to pick off a Dora girl near the Baron. At the same time, Loki Dosi is able to outplay Akali under the turret for a solo kill, which gives his team the confidence they need to find a clean ace.
Now we see on that top side a fight. Loki Dosi actually almost goes down but survives. Meanwhile in the jungle we have the rest of the fight. The extended fight is going. K-Man is tanking everything as the ace in the hole collects the third. And that is going to be another big fight breaking out. A possible ace coming here as Aika is going to go down. A double kill for the Nico and an ace.
Next up at number 4, Grim Legion think they've caught out Sapling, but a nice flash gives the rest of his team room to collapse. Kessler blocks off Dynasty's escape route, and Rat teleports in to finish the job.
Morgana gonna see if he can save it. Not quite. It looks like Friesman's actually gonna be the one here who goes down as we see Jarvan coming so strong. Yeah, TP coming with Weaver's Wall as well. Now we're seeing Drak coming here with a World Ender. Keithler's taking a lot of damage, but Brad has coming through with the ADC Slain. Rooted comes through for Keithler. Is going to be able to get out, but the burn just does so much damage as Sapling.
And at number 3, D-Dog and Khan exchange blows on the top side, and Khan feigns retreat before flashing in for the solo kill.
Enough. On that top side gets a nice straight down. That's half health. Binding goes a little bit wide. This might be Khan's trade. XXGLP is available. Nice play there, but a nice slicing Maelstrom is going to catch him out. The flash into the kill is going to secure it.
Coming in at number 2, Velvet and D-Dog are once again at each other's throats, but this time their team is there to back them up. Lamb's Respite keeps everyone alive until Kessler shows up huge with a triple kill on his AP Lulu.
But Ryan is there to pick it up and go for the kill. But look at this engage here. The root coming through on Rat. Ryan has to get out now. Ultimate from Vlad. Gonna do so much damage with the E to pair with it. Not quite. We do see Lulu come in to save the Vlad here, just barely getting his health back up. Cruz is chasing down. Khan goes down as Kessler flashes in the back. Like that's gonna be a double kill. Now Cruz is gonna have to get out of here before we see a triple. The burn is coming through. He goes under turret to finish off for an amazing triple of 5-1 assassin Kessler on the Lulu.
And finally, at number 1, Team Fish Taco were looking to put an end to Recon 5's reign. Although Tanzo was able to land a massive backline pop blossom that wins his team the fight, Team Fish Taco were able to buy enough time for Azuki's back door to finish off the Nexus.
Going to fall and Dillian possibly looking for a potential engage, but look at Azuki shoving in the bot wave. The first Nexus turret might be falling soon as the on the hunt comes through from Yuki Bunny. They're looking to possibly turn this around. Tides of Sanguine Pool will come through from Chromosomes, the ultimate from Tonzo. Chromosomes will fall, but look at this. Azuki trying to end. He's got the Baron empowered minions. Can he do this all on his own? He's taken down the final Nexus. It's a 1v3. Nexus is on half HP. The double kill comes over from Sedillion, but it's not enough. Azuki is able to end, and Team Fish Tacos will take it.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of ABL Top Plays. We'll see you next week as we track the league's biggest plays around Summoner's Rift. Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 3 of the ABL. We are back once again. As always, I'm your host and play-by-play audio adrenaline. Joining me today is none other than Rebel Fox to bring you First Blood Marauders versus our last place team this time around, Grim Legion eSports.
Yeah, that's right. I think we discussed it before the game. It's the definitive #1 team that is completely lossless at this point, up against the definitive last place team with no wins at this point. So clearly, at least a small gap between these teams. That doesn't mean it shouldn't be an exciting series.
Absolutely not. We are only in the 3rd week of the ABL. Plenty of time to catch up. Grim Legion did have a pretty difficult schedule coming into this start of the season, so they are going to be looking right now to prove that they don't belong at the bottom of the standings, that they can compete with the best of the best, and they have a chance to prove that going up against our undefeated team in First Blood Marauders.
If I recall, they've actually made a couple of roster swaps as well. I'd have to check into it, but I think their support is new this week, as opposed to last week when we last saw them.
They are running with Sleepy Bulbasaur there in the support this time around, so we'll see what he can do with the team. But we are straight into the picks and bans. The Tristana, Olaf, and Poppy band away on the side of Grim Legion, and First Blood Marauders taking away the Vi, the Riven, and the Sejuani. First pick, Ezreal going to go over to Grim, and Aatrox and Yuumi, very strong picks picked up there by First Blood Marauders.
Yeah, comfort immediately for Akaya. It's like his #1 champion is Ezreal, but I don't think it's as strong as other ADCs. And it shouldn't be as priority as some other champions. Giving away Aatrox and Yuumi at this point is ridiculous. That's so much strength already on the side of First Blood Marauders.
Yeah, the fact that both those champions made it through the draft phase in the first place. Aatrox, one of the premier top laners, Yuumi, one of the best supports at this point in time as well. Both of them making it through and both of them given away. So questionable first pick there for the Ezreal, but wanting to make sure Ikea would have something that he was comfortable with. Rounding out their first round, though, the Kennen and the Nunu will join Grim Legion's roster as the Gragas is picked up there for First Blood. Probably in the jungle, we do see a lot of support Gragas these days, especially when paired with the Yasuo, but with the Yuumi already locked in, really only lane left for that to go is there in the jungle.
Yeah, that's the most expected of the. You could play some funny games with how you put the Yuumi into the roster, but certainly expectation of jungle. I wouldn't be shocked to see a Yasuo ban because, again, that is an incredibly strong combo at the moment, but maybe they just don't expect anyone on the side of First Blood to play it. So instead, they went right for Sivir. The opposite side, of course, 2 poke supports taken away from Sleepy Bulbasaur. He tends to be an enchanter player. Caitlyn also taken away. Really protecting Akaya in this draft. 3 ADCs taken off the board.
Yeah, and this seems a little bit strange to me, is putting Akaya onto the Ezreal, one of the safest ADCs in the game, and then investing so much of your pick and ban resources into denying picks away from Priam Faya. Really seems like they're trying to just shore up what might be a weakness down there on the bot side, maybe not too sure about Akaya's play up against the first place team.
That, or they really want to enable Akaya to kind of get into the late game. With some of the new items you're building on Ezreal, with things like Ludens and Gunblade, he's gotten back to a place where late game Ezreal still feels super, super good to play. He's very safe early, and he scales pretty well. His mid game isn't as strong as it was, but certainly it's a champion you can carry on, and Akaya is very comfortable on it, so maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to set him up for success with the rest of the draft. They do need more attack damage at the moment, and I think all they're missing is a mid laner.
Absolutely. Things that pop to mind, the Kiana, the Zed, a lot of ADSS still on the table. The Yasuo one we talked about, and it's going to be locked in there for Rhynek.
Not a bad takeaway. Actually, pretty good with the Nunu as well. That big snowball, not exactly what a Gragas cask or a belly bump can do to set up the Yasuo perfectly, but it is something that can be set up with the Yasuo. So in the 2v2, it's at least something acceptable. And I like the takeaway from First Blood Marauders and not having this Gragas and the Yasuo combo.
Ooh, we see this being hovered, though, and locked in. First Blood grabbing the Kiana for themselves. We talked about the possibility of the Kiana a little bit earlier on. First Blood want to try their hand at the new champion on the Rift.
Yeah. She's a strong champion. She has a lot of ways to do a lot of different things. I think she's absolutely best into melee versus melee mid lane matchups. She can shut down a lot of assassins in a lot of different ways. And her roaming potential, her ability to kind of like skirt around the map, especially with something like a Gragas, it matches what a Yasuo can. not the same synergy that you normally have, but it has the same concept to it. And what I want to see them do is really invade onto Hands of Blood, try to get aggressive onto the Nunu, shut down his game, and then their lanes just have to protect themselves long enough to get their mid game going. Once they're in mid game, they start to win.
Yeah, and I'm interested in keeping my eyes on DTS this time around because Kiana, still very new to League of Legends, only released about a week, 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And so the biggest issue here is, although she is looking to be a pretty strong champion, is does this team have enough practice on her, have enough games on her, enough experience to execute her very difficult play style well?
Yeah, it's funny. She kind of plays like a mix between a Talon and an Akali. Both of them have these kind of interesting, like dash in, dash out, try to find your target and pick them off play styles. And that's what Kiana really does. She has very interesting early game because she has access to CC and high mobility against single targets, which makes her insanely lethal in these 2v2s alongside this Gragas. That's why you really have to pressure there. Late game, she doesn't scale perfectly, and Assassin does one thing very, very well. They blow up a single target. Kiana has a lot more team fighting presence, but much less single target burst unless she gets ahead. So, it's not a perfect composition for pure 5v5 drafting, but the Kiana's a little bit different than drafting something like a Zed or a Talon, because those are champions that are kind of one single target focused. Kiana can do a lot more.
And let's talk a little bit about that team fighting, because you look at First Blood Marauders with the Aatrox and with the Kiana, both extremely good team fighting champions. But if you look on the other side, Grim Legion, they have the Nunu, they have the Kennen and the Yasuo with the Braum as well. Which one of these teams do you expect, if we come down to a 5v5 team fight, to have the edge?
It's really interesting because, like, the side of Grim, they have a lot of wombo combo and they have a lot of safety. It's a composition that they're almost challenging the individual laning abilities. You're talking like Kennen versus Aatrox is like a 1v1 lane very, very heavily. Both of them have ways to escape ganks. Yasuo versus Kiana, that's an intense skill matchup between two melee mid laners with lots of like skill cap. And then bot lane, you draft this super safe Ezreal Braum lane into the Lucian Yuumi that can do a lot of damage, but certainly scales well. It's very interesting the way these comps work. I really think either way, whoever runs over the other one to start with is going to be the team that has success. I think First Blood's composition gets to the mid game easier, and they have a stronger mid game. I think pure 5v5, if you're talking like in a vacuum, 40 minutes in, Grim wins the game. But I don't think it's going to be easy to get to that point.
Well, Grim definitely going to be, having the time on their side. First Blood playing on a little bit of a clock here, as they don't want to let the scaling come through. If you guys have opinions on who you think will win the game, make sure to vote in the chat. !point contest for some more details. You can bet your points that you earn just by watching the stream on either First Blood or Grim Legion. If you are correct, you'll earn some more points. Remember, at the end of the season, the highest points on the leaderboard will earn some free skins in game. But we're going to be going to a short break before we get into game one of this best of 3 series. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody, to the first game of First Blood Marauders versus Grim Legion eSports. We are on the Rift with some very spicy compositions. We see the Kiana coming out once again. Has been pretty popular since her release. And now both teams moving out across the map. We see a lot of pings coming down as Grim Legion are grouping up as 5 here.
And they have a great comp to do this. Oh, no. This is worth... Okay, so Tips needs to be out in the river right now. Otherwise, he won't see this coming. If Braum can get around the corner and throw the cube fast enough, they're going to force his flash out.
Dia is going to spot them right away, though. I don't think they saw the Aatrox as he left the bush, so they have no information. But side of First Blood, they know this is happening.
Yeah, they're bringing it. They have at least 3 members in the area. Gragas and Kiana, I think, are just going to try to word it out, figure out where they're going. They definitely spot the entire team now.
Oh, and now they're going to know that they've been had. They do get a ward onto the red buff, though. We do see Prime Fire moving up and putting some vision down into the Raptor pit in response. So vision kind of going tit for tat. Nothing really happening from that invade.
Yeah, you know, it's a good attempt. You have the Braum, you have the Ezreal, you have the Yasuo, all champions that do pretty well in invades this early. So it was worth a shot there, at least for Graham, although well done by Tips. I think, again, for anybody that has to go to a Tribe Rush by themselves, be it an ADC, a support, or a top laner, you need to stand in the river because you'll catch that stuff much, much faster than if you just stand back in your Tribe Rush. He was lucky to get out of that situation alive because Braum throws the Q a little bit sooner and kind of guesses where he's going to be. That forces flash immediately.
Yep, it definitely would have happened, but Tibbs is able to walk away this time around without having to blow anything. Both junglers starting on their red buff, so high gold, high experience clears. Should get level 3 fairly quickly, although Gragas will be spotted out starting on his red. Nunu has not walked past that ward on the Raptors, so for the moment, it is Grim Legion with the information advantage.
Yeah, that means that this the Kiana and Lucian lane can play it up a little bit more. Knowing that Nunu hasn't crossed into the territory yet, hasn't gone for the Raptor pit yet, so you can at least guess some of that. But certainly, you know, the entire mid side of the map, bottom side of the map for Grim, know where Gragas is, know he's coming down towards us. So they're trying to push out now, trying to get the wave to bounce so that they can be closer to their tower.
As we see Rhynek going in onto DTS, taking a good chunk of his health, but he's taking a lot back as well. Does proc the Conqueror, but it seems like DTS has found his way out. Lots of mobility coming in from both of these mid laners. Can be very tricky to actually lock each other down.
Like I said, I think it really is a skill matchup between these two. It's very difficult to manage both of the champions. I think what it comes down to is who's more comfortable on the champion. Like, Kiana's new.
Hang on, there goes the flash. Head for the flash, E in. And First Blood going over to DTS. He wins that skill check in spades with the help of Mike coming in for an early gank.
Yeah, really good flash from Mike right there. If he doesn't get that CC off, I think the E comes through from Rhynek, and then he just flashes out, and that's flash for flash pretty simply. Mike able to get just enough distance to get that body slam onto him, prevent him from flashing away fast enough. Kiana gets that first kill also. It's pretty big.
DTS's back was interrupted, but I don't know if Nunu wants this fight. Has to flash away from the Kiana, and he stops the back, but at what cost? Burns his own summoner spell.
Yeah, that's be very critical. Again, Nunu doesn't have many ways to like fight this early. I'm surprised he would even want to warrant that. Maybe a cancel or something, but certainly not an all-in that he would want to take. As you just saw, Kiana's going to win that most of the time. He did force her to stay, though, so they have an option to gank her because she doesn't have much of an advantage.
Does still have the flash for a little bit of mobility. She needs to get away, but is doing fairly well here. So the directed camera pans away from the lane. Now we see Tibbs and Khan going at each other up here on the top side. Both down to about half health. Pretty even lane so far. Only the slightest of CS advantages going in Tibbs' favor. Down here on the bottom side, though, it is a different story as Prime Fire and Tang are just mercilessly shoving in this wave. Ezreal now sitting over 10 CS down. Has a lot to pick up, but under turret, will he be able to get it all and close that gap?
Yeah, it's difficult in this laning phase because, of course, you have Ezreal, who's very safe, but he's also squishy, so he can't be up all the time. Coupled with Kiana just abusing this melee support. Braum is very safe, and he's very good to have in the lane, especially against the Lucian. But certainly, I mean, Kiana just bullies any melee support out ridiculously. It's also difficult to engage into these two, even at level 6. with the Ezreal not having a ridiculous amount of pure burst until those first few items come out. So I don't think this game lane gets any easier. Kaya just needs to land some Kleptomancy procs, try to tie up the gold as best he can. He's actually not far behind despite being 13 minions down at the moment.
Yeah, and that's thanks to that Kleptomancy right there. He is currently sitting on, let's check. I don't think it's actually sold how much he has earned from it, but he's only 100 gold down at the end of the day, so not doing horribly, but normally with the Kleptomancy Ezreal, you want to be getting a gold advantage through that rune. We see a gank here, biggest snowball ever going to come through the double CC chain, but Mike has joined the party, not fast enough as Khan is able to find that kill, but he's very low. Is he going to go down and return? He does! Mike picks up the counter kill, and now the Nunu is in trouble. One more body slam might do it, but the healing coming through from the consume. Mike is able to get the double as he turns it around. The counter gank for the double kill.
It's funny because Mike, oh, never mind.
Oh, DTS just goes under the turret. He doesn't even care. Goes back to base, buys that serrated Dirk, comes back and just styles on Rhynek in his own lane.
Yeah, he has the serrated Dirk, and there was actually no back there from the Yasuo. Those daggers and the shoes actually came out on this previous back. So it was literally an entire serrated Dirk of advantage for DTS. Rynek's struggling in the lane a little bit. This is the byproduct of that first gank. As you saw, this game's a little bit aggressive. Mike and DTS both ahead right now. Those are the two that are going to be dictating the pace coming into the mid game. That's terrifying if you're on the side of Grim Legion.
And now just 6 minutes in, a 2,000 gold lead here from First Blood Marauders. What we would expect from the undefeated team, not dropping a single game yet in the first 3 weeks of play. And we talked about how they were going to be on a clock, but right now that clock is not ticking, as they are at a massive advantage, and it is going to be a severely long time before the scaling comes into play. Khan, both top laners burning their ultimate there. World Ender met with a slicing Maelstrom. And they kind of walk away from that one. Neither top laners wanting to actually go in on that fight.
Yeah, so I think what it was is Khan was respecting the damage of Aatrox, and Aatrox knew, I think he knew he could take the fight. He was just terrified to attempt to trade there because one more kill onto the cannon means very, very destructive results.
As now the Infernal Dragon is up on the table, we see lots of fighting over the Vision here. First Blood do have priority with the 2-0 Kiana pushed up there in the mid lane, as well as the Lucian and the Yuumi having prio in bot side. So Vision control is going to belong to them, but not if the jungler gets caught out. A nice ultimate. The cast going to knock them both away. They might look to turn the fight. Here comes Kiana. DTS going in. Rhynek has his eyes set onto the Gragas though. There, he's not able to do it as Kiana will ult him into the wall, stun him up long enough to take him down. And the mid laner now gone from Grim Legion means the Infernal Drake should belong to First Blood.
And that was a respectable all-in there from Rhynek. I think he was very, very close to getting that kill. Just a little bit off the ultimate. Perfect from DTS. Not only to knock the Yasuo away from Mike on this Gragas, but then also to stun him up so that he couldn't continue after he got knocked. Really, really clean there from DTS. He shows that he knows how to play this champion very well, especially into the likes of Yasuo.
Yeah, it's extremely impressive for the short amount of time that he has had to get proficient on Kiana. So you see Mike go in for a nice flash body slam. Knockup going to come through to delay a little bit of time. Ikea tries to turn it around, but just walks into the waiting arms of Primefire and trades a kill over. Arcane Shift not available. Closes heal as well, and they want more. The flash away from the brawling projectile, but it comes right back around. Mike now on a killing spree as a Nunu looking to trade one back. Goes too far into the turret though, and Tibbs is able to find the 1v2. Now DTS taking on Rhynek in the mid lane. They're going at it. The ultimate going to come through. DTS so low with the flash forward. Rhynek is going to find it. And across the map, I believe that was a 1-for-3 going in favor of First Blood.
That it was. Really, really weird aggression just across the map here from Grim. It doesn't look like they're able to turn off the aggression. You saw that bot lane fight should have gone much worse for them after the flash body slam. We see more here.
Could continue to be worse. The flash forward, but not able to find Ikea as the Arcane shifts to safety. Braum now just trying to clear out the minions in a futile attempt to save his turret. Will they decide to dive? That is a very tanky Braum, but Unbreakable is now down. Body slam going in. Mike now stunned up under the turret, not taking aggro though. The ignite ticking away. The heal to save him. Yumi is able to keep their jungler alive, and Mike will walk away clean. Great juggling of aggro there from First Blood, executing that beautifully.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of that entire exchange was like, it was Kiana. The Tang sold that, he was pretending like he was about to let his jungler die in her tower. He's like, okay, he's dead. He's got the ignite on, and then he's got thing. Ignite wears off immediately. Yumi goes auto, heals him to get him more movement speed to get out. Jumps onto him with the shield, heals him twice. It's him just out of tower range at the last second. It looked like Akaya and Sleepy Bulbasaur were just expecting him to go down to the ignite, and the Tang didn't let it happen. Well done.
Hang on, and the snowball is going to land on the Tibbs, but the rest of the team collapsing means he might have bit off a little bit more than he could chew. Now the reset from the World Ender going in. Khan will be able to make it out, but another kill going over to DTS on this Kiana. Mike robbing the Predator to the final chapter, being read out, and they are just dominating right now as Khan is going to use the TP, has the Slicing Maelstrom available, finds the Lucian, but Mike is just wailing away here on Bulbasaur. Ultimate not going to land as Khan will flash away, but a nice two-man body slam, and they're able to grab both. As First Blood just own the map right now. And they're not done. DTS wants some more of Rhynek here. Able to stun him up with the Q. Now the Ignite going to go down. Rhynek doing what he can. The ultimate going to come in. But it's not enough. Kiana now 5-1. Padding those stats.
Just ridiculous damage coming out of DTS right here, coupled with Mike. He is everywhere on this map. He has 9 kills or 9 kill assists on 13 kills across the map. He's all over the place doing so much work. This is already Predator Shoes, Runic Echoes, Gragas at 12 minutes in the game. You've seen the damage he can put out with the barrels that he's doing. This is what you want to see from First Blood Marauders. They're the team has strong early game, has strong mid game. They're just all over the place. It's weird though. You'd expect DTS to be around. Oh, we got action.
Yep, they are going in and break. We're going to stop a lot of damage though. The entire culling being used. Bulbasaur though is going to go down. The Unbreakable used a little bit too early. Does not block the back half of that culling. Prefile will find another one for himself, now sitting 3-0. This game is starting to spiral out of control.
That is. Like I said, the best case scenario here from the side of Grim was that they were able to get Yasuo stabilized in the mid lane and then bring him around to the side lane, specifically towards the top side to try to aggress onto this Aatrox. It just hasn't happened. Kiana has completely contained Rhynek into the mid lane, into losing fights most of the game, coupled with just Mike is all over the place. Able to get anything done.
Wanting to go in onto Ikea, force him to Arcane Shift to safety, and Sleepy Bulbasaur, we've seen this before, once again caught out solo under his turret. Final chapter going to be used, but not quite enough. The heal from Yumi will be all that Lucian needs to go back in. And now DTS looking for the 1v2, but he's going to fall. Shut down over to the Nunu. Now on the top side, Mike is dominating as he trades the kill back for First Blood.
Clean all the way across to every single fight from the side of First Blood. Just looks like they've intended, they're the ones aggressing, they're the ones getting everything back. DTS lost a 2v1 in that mid lane to Hands of Blood and Rhynek, and that was the worst play to happen to him right there.
Now Hands of Blood coming down to the spot side, but he just cannot contest. The Lucian and the Yumi as B-Tang picks one up for himself. Yumi now on the board. No member of First Blood is without a kill.
Absolutely. And you're talking this Kiana's on almost 2 items. Gragas probably has enough gold to start buying a second item. Aatrox hasn't even finished his first one yet. He doesn't need to. He's the one containing this Kennen, who's the only option for the side of Grim at this point. 18 kills up, 8,500 gold here at 14 minutes. This one feels ridiculously close to a win here from First Blood already.
Yeah, we are averaging over a kill per minute, which is absolutely insane. And now, this is not out of the realm of expectations when we saw that our first place team was going up against the last place team.
That's bad. Don't go back. Please, Akaya, don't go back to the bot lane.
I think he sniffed something out, but DTS is laying the trap.
No.
Will Ikea step in and cleared out the wards?
Don't do it!
But he is pushed very far up. Here comes DTS to take him down. Arcane Shift away, but so much damage as DTS now 7-2-0. DTS putting on a clinic for Kiana right now.
That's so sad. He has 0 armor at this moment in the game. Like, he hasn't finished an Iceborne or anything else he might buy in consideration. Coupled with double lethality for the Kiana, I knew it was going to happen. He didn't even have to burn his ultimate right there. That is just so sad.
Rhynek finds the knockup, but doesn't decide to take in the last breath. And remember, in the draft phase, they first picked this Ezreal and banned away multiple ADCs. It seems like they invested so much here into Ikea, and he is just not having the performance we expected him to for demanding so much of their draft resources.
In fairness, yeah. Okay, so they tried to shut him out by banning away all of these champions that could scale alongside that were good in the lane against Ezreal. But they just let the Lucian. I don't know if they were expecting the Lucian to come through or what was happening there, but that was certainly the thought process. And still, that's all.
Looking to grass out to Brian though. They find the stun, and he is going to go down. Kiana might be the next target, but Yuumi going to help DTS get the safety. Snowball coming in, though, does find the knockup. But no follow-up to speak of as here comes Mike to join the party. Tibbs coming in as well. Goes in with the World Ender. Does he get the reset? There it is. Now he's going under the turret. Khan probably going to fall soon. And the double kill. The triple for DTS as he finds 2 with the knockup. And even finds the reset on the backhand. First blood just rolled all over Grim Legion. A 4 for 0 there in the mid lane.
That was ridiculous. It was 4 for 1. They did start off with the 1 pick. I'm not going to take that away from the side of Grim, but oh my goodness. Took 1 step too far up. Immediately, Mike Tibbs from both sides flanking, finding everything. Tibbs found 3 kills. This is their weakest member right here. This is the Aatrox just tearing through everybody like they're paper. And again, he's the least fed of anybody. It's just, they're so far ahead right now.
They absolutely are. We'll see if they're able to continue to snowball their advantage as Ikea is caught out. Tibbs might be going down. Yuumi just getting out of dodge with the flash over the wall. He's going to get away from that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was just like they were able to catch the stun pretty fast, but they don't have the burst damage to take him out before he just gets the flash over the wall. And all he needed to do was get out of vision. As soon as he's out of vision, he has the Yuumi there, so it doesn't even matter.
DTS finding the stun against the wall. Rhynek has the knockup available. You see Nunu roaming down as well. This could be trouble for DTS. He has to find this kill and fast, but Rhynek, some fancy feet, will keep himself safe as Hands of Blood comes to his aid. And now, looking at First Blood Marauders, 12,000 gold almost advantage for them. Just 17 minutes into the game, kind of what we expected out of the first place team going up against someone at the bottom of the standings. But now the question is, will they be able to close this out as cleanly as they have looked here in the first half of the game? That is one of the things we look for in our top teams, is not only can you get a lead, but can you snowball that effectively? The Baron will be spawning in just about 2 minutes. How many are they going to need to actually end this one?
I actually don't know if they need a Baron specifically to end the game. I think they only need one thing in order to actually finish it out, and that's Khan. They need his teleport. If they get Khan's teleport away, every possibility of a 1-team fight goes right out the door. There's only Magic Resist right now sitting on the Aatrox, which means that Kennen Ultimate will do some damage with these Sword Shoes with the Gunblade finish for this guy. So what they need is they need a good flank from the side of Grim with this Kennen pick, because that's what can actually do damage. That's what can win them a fight. If they get that teleport, they get that ultimate, or if they kill Khan, like, okay, it's not going to do right here. But if they're able to get something away from Khan, a teleport or a kill or something, I think they can just push it right down mid with all 5 numbers and they're done.
Right now they are running that 1-3-1 composition. Tibbs in the top side, the 3-man unit of Lucian, the Yuumi, and the Gragas, who just pops the Rift Herald, and they are putting down some serious pressure all over the map.
I wonder if they want to contest this. Honestly, I don't know if it's worth contesting before your actual Nexus turret at this point.
Not even 20 minutes into the game, and First Blood are knocking on the door of the base. They want to go in. They delete Rhynek. The Nunu is next. The culling coming out. Redemption going down, but there's nobody left alive to receive it. Ikea just gets melted as DTS finds a triple kill. And now with Shelly still rampaging through the turrets, this might just be the end. Not even gonna let the Baron spawn before First Blood Marauders look to take the first game of a Grim Legion.
Yeah, and Khan tried to find a flank. He found a really good angle. He just wasn't able to get it done fast enough. Wasn't able to get in with the ultimate.
Welcome back, everybody, to the exciting matchup between First Blood Marauders and Grim Legion eSports. We saw in Game 1 a complete domination coming through from First Blood. Will Grim Legion be able to turn it around, or will they get sent home packing in one of the potential fastest series we've seen all season?
Yeah, that it is. Again, Game 1 went very, very quickly for the side of First Blood. They showed that they just have individual dominance, team dominance basically across the board. So what Grim needs to do is just really kind of figure out what it is they want to play around and just have a single, very simple to execute draft that they can work with. They don't want all this complexity to it. They really just want simplicity as best they can.
And look at that, the Yuumi going to be taken away this time around. We saw B-Tang putting on a very good showing for the Sorcerer Cat there down on the bot side. But the Aatrox was left up. They do not decide to take it, though. Instead, going to be locking in that Lux.
Extremely strong champion. We do see Caitlyn again. So more draft priority here for Akaya. It looks like, so what I'm guessing, yeah, that Morgana makes a lot of sense. That's the bot lane I would expect them to go for. This is range, damage, CC, protection is everything you want in a bot lane. So with this too, in the setup against the Lux, they can draft super aggressive somewhere else. This is a bot lane you can leave on their own. You don't have to worry about them. So I like this a lot better than last game.
And this seems like a much more worthy pick of the draft resources. Excuse me. Last time around, we saw the Ezreal.
You all right? Hello. Okay. Yeah, as my co-caster was saying, the Ezreal was picked up pretty early last game. This one, Caitlyn makes a lot more sense. She's the champion that just kind of is a little bit better in terms of what the meta says. Also, very defensive. Again, as I said, very long-range champion, very strong champion when it scales into the later stage. Morgana is a good counter to Lux as well. So it's not just giving away Lux Aatrox this time. They are still taking things that are pretty high priority and good counters. The one thing, they let Aatrox through a second time through the entire ban phase. That's something Khan has to try to work around here. Jarvan is a good pickup, gives him a lot of just straight up engage and helps with the lanes. Again, this is a much more wide, overarching draft. I think they're just trying to pick out something that they can work around right now, because Caitlyn Morgana isn't a lane you typically gank towards unless you have very safe tops out of the map. So we have to see where they want to go with it.
Yeah, and last time Khan did very well into Aatrox with the cannon. Still up on the table. We'll see if he decides to go for that again.
It'll be interesting to see. I do think Khan had a good performance last game. I'm surprised to see them banning out more ADCs with the Caitlyn already. Sivir's a good pick off, but I don't think they need to ban anymore. I wouldn't double up. Okay, they went with the Lucian ban. I don't think they needed to give away the Lucian ban. That's another draft resource given to Akaya and Sleepy Bulbasaur. I don't think they needed to. I don't think Lucian is that fantastic into a Caitlyn pick at any point in the game. Early is their best bet, and with this Morgana, you should be perfectly fine. Instead, they lose more top laners with the Aurelia and the Kennen already taken away from Khan. I still think they should draft a mid laner here and wait, give him counter pick.
We'll see if that's what they decide to go to. But once again, like you said, a lot of draft resources put into Ikea, the ADC here for Grim Legion. They're definitely showing that they want to play through him. Last time, not a great showing against Primfai and B-Tang. We'll see with the more aggressive lane if they can do better this time around.
Absolutely. I like the Vladimir pick here. It's a lot of damage. They have good CC already. They just need a lot more damage, a little bit more teamfight presence. And the best part about it is mid and top can flex between both. Good into Nico, good into Aatrox. Should be perfectly fine. Gives whoever wants the counter pick depending on what's left. Ooh.
Like with the Lee Sin locked in there for Mike. A much more aggressive jungler there than we saw with the Gragas last time around.
Yeah, Gragas worked out as an aggressive pick last time, though, and certainly plenty of damage to work with. The big thing, though, is that the AoE is not there from the same time. So Lee Sin's a lot more single target of a champion, so it does require a little bit more work. Oh, let's go.
And we see DTS once again on that Kiana. I would have probably expected to at least ban it away in the second round.
Yeah, it was rough. So my question is, okay, so if DTS takes the Kiana, then it's probably Nico ADC Lux support. But what are the odds we see Kiana bot lane alongside the Lux, and we see like Nico mid, Nico top with Aatrox in the opposite? We see Lissandra taking a pick too.
I definitely expect it to be the Nico and the Lux in the bottom lane.
Yeah, most likely. Like I said, that makes the most sense. Nico's okay. Now it should be that.
Yeah, they do have a while to decide what they actually want to go for, but I would expect Preem Faya to be on that Nico and B-Tang on Lux.
So actually, B-Tang is the one that plays Nico more between the two of them. So it wouldn't shock me to see a last-second switch here with the Nico as the primary benefit or the support moral, and Lux is not. Yeah, I don't know how long the lock-in lasts for this particular thing. Again, you have Kiana in the mid lane for DTS, Aatrox again for Tibbs, and now Lee Sin for Mike, which is an even more aggressive early game champion. But certainly, I think there are more ways to attack First Blood Marauders. Certainly, the Lee Sin as opposed to the Gragas means if he does get shut down early, there's easier ways to go. The one pick I don't like is Lissandra. Lissandra is kind of rough. She's not a great place in the meta. It's really just kind of rough to deal with. She has a lot of issues in terms of mana control, in terms of AoE. All of the stuff in her kit right now is a little bit weaker than it was. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm typing a message. All right, there we go. Okay. So in terms of both drafts right now, I do like top side of the map. It's an interesting one. Khan on a champion that does a lot better into the Aatrox this time around. It's a lot more defensive for him. He doesn't have to worry about it. They can sit on this Vladimir and just wait for him to scale up into the later stage of the game, which is a lot different than what we saw last time with the Kennen, who has to get ahead, has to be proactive, do those kinds of things. I like this a lot better. Number two, the Jarvan can help in the top side of the map, but really this is the duo that they want in the mid lane. Jarvan Lissandra is kind of a cut rate version of this like Yasuo, Gragas kind of thing, where you bring your mid and your jungle and you just kind of duel around the map. Certainly more damage from the side of the Kiana and Lee Sin, but the CC potential, the aftershock potential in the early game for the Jarvan and Lissandra make it very, very potent and could make it a lot harder for this team to find success in the pure 2v2 than they did in the last game against the Yasuo, who's pretty squishy, against against the Nunu, who has no real damage potential. Finally, to touch on the bot lane here, Nico has long-range auto attacks as opposed to most ADCs. Caitlyn, I think, is one of the few that still has longer auto attack range. And again, I thought B-Tang was the one who really played more Nico. I'd never seen PM or Primfaya really play it all that much, so it's surprising to see that be the case. But certainly, Nico Lux can root somebody for about as long as humanly possible in this game. So if they're able to catch some CC, if they keep Sleepy Bulbasaur actually sleeping, not able to use that Black Shield in time, it could be rough for the bot lane of Akaya and Sleepy Bulbasaur. Again, the Caitlyn Morgana should be perfectly safe enough against the double mage. That's also a great lane for Jarvan to gank and for the Lissandra gank. If they want to bring 4 people down into a lane, that would be one of the best ones to do so because AoE exists there, CC exists there, but certainly not a lot of defense. So if they mess up one ability, mess up one root, mess up a shield, anything, it is perfectly punishable by the super aggressive bottom side of the map. I think Grim put a lot more of their cards into giving themselves a lot better of an option to drive the game, as opposed to like last time they were a little bit more passive, a little bit more lane focused, trying to play reactively. In this one, they can be proactive. They can try to take a fight to First Blood Marauders, and we have to see how that changes as opposed to the last one where they're trying to wait, they were trying to scale. I like it a lot better. They're at least not rolling over and dying right here, right now. I want to see Akaya and Sleepy Bulbasaur step it up, and I want to see Hands of Blood really take over. Until then, we're going to take a short break before the game steps up. My co-caster should be back and ready to go after his coughing fit, and then we will see who wins between Grim and First Blood Marauder.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second game between First Blood Marauders and Grim Legion. I am back once again. Do not worry, you will not be stuck with Rebel Fox alone for the rest of the broadcast.
You're welcome.
And the rest of the broadcast might last a little bit longer as we see the pause coming in. Seems like the EDC for Grim Legion did disconnect, so Ikea, the one who received all of the draft resources both games around, has decided to just duck out.
Yeah, they're readying up right here. It looks like they're ready to get.
He's back. Didn't get cold feet, I guess. We'll be back onto the Rift very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
And going into this game, too, we saw a very quick Game 1 victory from First Blood. Do you think that was just a case of unfortunate... As we go into another pause here. Mike saying that he pulled the plug on Ikea. But do you think that was just a case of a game snowballing out of control? And do you think the First Blood is just that much better that they can do that at a whim and just in whatever game they please?
So I think the problem is that there's a lot of individual talent on the side of First Blood, and their team together is just very, very strong in its own. So when you get a lead like they have ways to just press. Rather than just being like a team that, like, okay, if you get an advantage, you can group up as 5, start to take objectives, take the map slowly. Instead, what they did is they stayed separate. They stayed in 5 lanes. They tried to stay apart. And by doing so, they were able to do quite a bit of work. Ooh,
Hands Blood GG, though, caught out here in the jungle. The Q already used from Mike. We'll see if he can get away. Rhynoc is here to protect his jungler.
Oh.
Lands it again. Lee Sin Syndrome isn't going to be in effect this time around. His mind is telling him no.
Oh, he's going to cancel? No, okay.
Oh, I thought he might go for it. Does get a huge chunk down, though, and Hands of Blood will have to reset there.
Yeah, a little bit late of a reset as well makes it difficult for him to try to get out of the camp on time.
And they don't even decide to put down any vision there in the jungle with all the members that they had in there for that extended period of time. Little bit disappointing, as I feel like that would have been a great opportunity to start tracking Hands of Blood as he moved around the map. But Mike, wanting to get back down to this red buff where he will start, both junglers going to go for that camp at level 1. Once again, just so much gold and experience packed into the red side of the jungle.
That it is. Lee Sin pretty fast at clearing as well, especially with 2 Luxes helping him leash it together there. A little bit worse of a leash here given by Khan. Of course, he is a single champion, and also the fact that he's Vladimir, so his auto attacks don't do as much. Also, the other big thing is that Tibbs was able to catch him on his way back in. So Khan was spotted out, so they do have information on where Jarvan is, even without that warding he talked about.
That they do. Just kind of the intuition of where he is going to be. CGTS landing some good poke onto Rhynoc. This time, having the range advantage should work out a lot better for Rhynoc earlier on into this lane. Doesn't just have to go up into the melee range of that Kiana.
He doesn't. Also, Kiana, if she wants to get close, obviously she gets close enough for the W of the Lissandra to apply. So the Aftershock will go on to Ryak as well, making his life a little bit easier in terms of an all-in potential of DTS. His wave player is also going to be really, really good for the majority of the first part of the game. So I think he's a lot better of a champion matchup for the laning phase, at least in this game.
Oh, Binding going to land out of the Lux there. The trap is going to follow. So much damage going on to B-Tang. He is forced back. Now here the topside Khan getting pulled back in despite the Sanguine Pool. Have to get that one down before the W actually lands. You are untargetable, not invulnerable.
That is. You also get a little bit of movement speed there from the W. I think he was trying to just run out of it as fast as possible, but of course he ran directly away, which makes it hard to outrun the little chain from pulling him back, as he just found out. So
another good Binding gonna land.
It's not a big thing. It's just a little tiny thing.
Yep, that Khan should be generally pretty safe up here. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a theme for their entire composition. Grim Legion really gonna do a good job at minimizing their losses. And I say that, though, Rhynoc finds a big one as he loses a trade handedly to DTS.
Yeah, again, this is rough because obviously you have champions that can play very defensively. Things like the Lissandra, the Vladimir, the Caitlyn Morgana, but you don't want to. With champions like this, you don't just need to play defensively because you'll lose. You'll get outscaled as the Lissandra. You'll get outscaled as the Jarvan in terms of damage against Sin. what'll happen is they need to get aggressive with some of these champions. They can't just rely on the Vladimir and the Caitlyn late game scaling to carry them through the game, because they have to have the coordination to work with it. We saw last time a lot of coordination behind First Blood Marauders, so they need to get aggressive with these picks that can play defensively before they worry about it.
Mike is getting aggressive as the flash away from the flag and drag. Beautiful play, but he is going to go down for first blood. Grim Legion now on the board. DTS chasing down the Lissandra though under her turret, but now, even though he gets the kill, caught behind enemy lines, dashes over the wall, but 1v3, not going to find an escape. Houdini, not going to happen, as he does fall to Ikea. And although First Blood make a proactive play, it is Grim Legion that bite back hard.
Yeah, sucks to have a kill go over to the Kiana yet again.
Not done though. Here comes Rhynek. Nice tangle barbs to come in before the Black Shield, stopping Rhynek in his traps. If he was able to get in there with the W, that could have spelled even further disaster for First Blood.
Yeah, and that's partly on Sleepy Bulbasaur. Again, he is the one that needs to throw down this Black Shield before the Lux or the Nico can get off this route, because that's what stops aggression, that's what gives aggression to this bot lane. Again, though, I'm happy to see the Caitlyn get a kill Akaya. Having that gives him pretty decent wave clear, gives him a little bit more pressure in this bot side, and then, of course, Jarvan getting a kill is also massive. That is their pressure player. He's the one that can gank any lane at any time. He's the one that's going to be around the map. You want to see him get that advantage over Mike, because Mike is the early game champion.
Yeah, and although it was an extremely good play by Grim Legion collapsing on Mike and DTS there in the jungle, we still want to see some proactivity out of this composition, as you said, because reacting to a play is great and all if you're able to turn it around, but you have to be able to make them as well, and Hands of Blood is looking to do exactly that.
Again, just
doesn't
getting
find anything,
walked
though.
away from.
DTS has had some fancy footwork, as now Khan on this top side struggling much more this time around. World Ender going to be used, level 6 to level 5. Khan will escape, but Mike here in the mid lane. Rhynek falling very low. The Sonic Wave is going to land. Is he going to take it in? The stun available, but no ultimate, but still enough CC that Mike wants to back off.
Yeah, no kills found here from the side of First Blood Marauders. They had a couple of places where they could have applied, maybe overextended. Not going to do that. Instead, Mike's going to wait here. Okay, I thought he was going to ward hop, try to Q in. Smart not to die, though. Again, this is a defensive comp. They can get advantages off of over.
He is going to keep going. The turret shot, though, almost taking him down. Rhynek is able to find a trade. It might even just get two. Way overstepped there from First Blood Marauders. And they trade over two.
That's not even Lee Syndrome. That's like, I don't even know. He just got way, he like went under tower for no reason against the Lissandra. I know that Kiana's very mobile, but she was way too far back and didn't have the ultimate quite yet, I don't think. And then Ryanek actually got his level up from the kill onto Lee Sin and was able to just prevent his own death there, and then Jarvan comes in and cleans that. Like, I don't know what that aggression was from the side of First Blood Marauders. The attempt was nice, I guess, but the thought was really, really lacking there.
A little bit of overconfidence. Feels like they were almost disrespecting Grim Legion there after having the fastest game of the season last time around in just 19 minutes. They're really trying to push for these plays, but not respecting that they can get turned around on. They are not immune to these bad decisions. Is now the binding gonna land, the clone not gonna stop it, and there comes the traps, and Ikea will find one on Supreme Fire.
Yeah, how about Sleepy Bulbasaur completely fearless to flash right on top of Primfire right there, or Preempfire. That was amazing. Like I said, he flashed directly where he was and then threw the binding out, not knowing which direction the W was going to go for the Nico, just able to get it directly onto him, prevent him from moving, and then Akaya just picks up another kill. This is going a lot better for Grim. I'm not saying that the game's over already, but certainly their composition was designed to at least have some pretty good aggression early, and they're doing exactly that.
They absolutely are. And now it is for Grim Legion who have the massive early advantage here. Over 1,000 gold, but DTS might be looking to get some of that back. Immediate flash away from Akai. He does not want to mess with that Kiana.
Yeah. Again, that's perfect. I don't care that he burns his flash right there. I know aggression can come out later.
So he's sitting on a ward, doesn't have access to the ultimate quite yet. DTS gonna land the ultimate over the wall. The wrap around, they're able to find the kill. Ikea might be looking for a trade there. He lands the Q, but Mike is so low. They just have to get out of there. However, some gold back into the pockets of First Blood.
Yeah. A really good Kiana play here from DTS. Another fantastic uses of the ultimate. I don't think Bulbasaur... I think Bulbasaur had the Black Shield available. He just had zero idea where it was going to be needed at. And so when that wall came around...
Drag, the CC might come through. Rhynek finds a stun. DTS can get over the wall. The ultimate coming through. G is going to get away for now. But can he still escape? The Cataclysm dunked on top of him. His hands with blood. GG finds another. They are just picking on DTS so hard right now. But meanwhile, with the jungler showing in the mid lane, it is going to be Plate on the bot side going down as Rhynek gets pulled out of the claw. And Tibbs just protecting this mid tower, but the bottom one very close to going down.
Yeah, we do see finally the response here from the Jarvan, able to prevent it from going down fully. Actually, might not even be able to on his own. They have plenty of minions here. Mike also level 6 with this kick up. Oh, he doesn't actually have the Dragon Strike. Still, should be able to pick this one. Yeah, really, really good job there. They pushed the Kai out of lane when Sleepy Bulbasaur wasn't around, and they were just able to take advantage of the fact that Lee Sin was there. So if Kai sticks around, then he dies in that situation. So well played there from the side of
Getting pulled back in. He has to use the ultimate just to keep himself safe. Really doesn't get any use out of it. As Tibbs doing fairly well for himself up here in the top side against the Vladimir, who we thought was going to be a very safe pick.
I mean, he's respectively safe. He's pretty much matched in farm at the moment. No kills going the way of the Aatrox either. So that's all good things for this Vladimir at the moment. The one thing is he did go Phase Rush, and Phase Rush isn't a bad option on Vladimir, but actually a lot of people have been...
Hang on, though. Sleepy Bulbasaur has roamed up here to the top side. Support is coming to help, but Khan has to flash away. Great binding under the turret. The Ignite is going to take him down, as Sleepy Bulbasaur, with the beautiful roam, is able to stop that play in the top side.
That was flawless. Like, honestly, Sleepy Bulbasaur just read that play like a book. Able to come up to the top side of the map and then just barely keeping Khan alive. One Q and then the flash away from that final Q from the Aatrox, just able to prevent him from going down. And of course, as you said, Sleepy Bulbasaur, that amazing binding under the tower, kills the Aatrox, protecting this Vladimir even further. Doesn't have to worry about an Aatrox that's going to snowball over now.
Yep, and now both teams are looking to fight control over the river. Rift Herald has been started up here by Grim Legion. They will be forced off of it as they see DTS and B-Tang roaming up. We see the Aatrox going down to the bottom side now onto the Caitlyn, but engage onto Rhynek. Slowed down, binding going to be stopped from the Black Shield. Sleepy Bulbasaur has been on point in the last couple minutes, just saving these teammates, stopping these plays dead in their tracks.
Yeah, and in the last game with the Braum pick, he didn't look like he was actually getting much accomplished anyway. He just looked like he kept getting poked at by B-Tang. Just felt like he had no presence. And this one feels a lot better. The Black Shields are really helping prevent Kaya and the rest of his team getting rest on. Good roam.
But DTS going in. The ultimate from Lysandra to keep her alive for now. But the ult from Kiana pushes him into the turret and gets the shutdown. Beautiful play there by DTS.
There was a stopwatch available by Ryanek, but perfectly timed ultimate there.
Oh, now Priyama, right, be in trouble. Has to use the clone to get to safety. Flashes away as well. With 3 members showing top, that is the cue for the mid lane turret to be under siege here. Now Tibbs looking for the Vladimir. Sanguine Pool going to keep him safe, and we're just going to see more of an extended fight here in the bot side. Now Mike, Dragon Rage into the kick. Glacial Augment going to slow him down, and Lee Sin grabbing that one.
That's a rough one. Akaya, has the vision around him, so he's just trying to get a little bit back.
Rhynek, though, he's now the target. Uses the claw backwards. Might actually look to go in for the 1v2. The kick is not going to find him. The stop one is going to save him. The turn around. The snipe from Lux isn't going to get him. Or the Pop Blossom going to keep him alive, give him a shield. But locked there in the Cataclysm. And he will fall. It is going to be a 1-for-2 in favor of Grim Legion.
Unfortunately, Aatrox is still pushing bot lane, getting quite a bit of farm into that second turret. But again, Grim's fighting back much, much better than they were in the last game. They're a lot more competitive. These fights are one-sided. By this time last game, there was just about a 9,000, 11,000 gold each, something like that. What is it, 1,000? Maybe, yeah, less than 1,000 at this point for the side First Blood Marauders. A lot better fight coming out of this team. And they're the one, you still have Caitlyn, you still have Vladimir for damage, and certainly Lissandra as an engage tool in the later stage of the game, especially with the Morgana shield.
Gets spotted out. Just gonna dash over the wall to safety. However, this time around, I would like to mention out that Grim Legion had a phenomenal early game. They were multiple thousands of gold up, and First Blood Marauders have done a wonderful job at closing that gap immediately, not giving Grim Legion a chance to snowball the advantage like they did so well in game 1.
Again, I actually have to attribute that to a lot of the itemization choices here from the side of Grim. So if you're going to play Lissandra, you need to build Ludens first. It gives you much better access to both mana and wave clear and AP, which she needs. The Proto Belt's nice for a combo, but literally other than that, it's
DTS looking to go in. The Claw going to keep Rhynex safe for now, but DTS is on the hunt. Finds the Electrocute proc. Chunks out half of Rhynex's health.
Sounds like corrupting.
Going into the bot side to try to save the turret. Walks right into the trap, into the binding, into another trap. Tibbs falling so low. Actually retreat as he just teleports into so much damage. This turret will continue to be under siege from Mikaela and Bulbasaur.
Yeah, he just got CC'd to death nearly. Like, it was just trap after binding after trap after net. Everything that could have hit him and kept him in one spot was just as bad as possible. All you would need to add in is one other champion, seriously, 1 extra auto, 2 extra auto, something like that. And the Aatrox dies just not being able to move whatsoever. It feels bad.
All right, well now 15 minutes into the game, Gold slightly in favor of First Blood here. Not nearly the lead that they had last time around, though. We'll see what they're able to do with it this time around. Last time you gave them a mile, they took it 10. This time, only giving them an inch.
Just a little bit. Again, I still have to kind of diss the itemization choices from at least the Lissandra and the Vladimir. At this point in the game, Vladimir bought the Proto Belt. That's not a terrible buy, but you don't have to buy the entire Proto Belt at this point. You can buy a couple other components. Fiendish Codex is a little bit cheaper and gives him like AP, and then you can go directly into Spellbinder, and that gives you a ridiculous amount of mid-game power, spikes them a lot faster. It is, at the end game, it's a little bit different of a build and certainly plays a lot different, but it's very, very strong if you want to take some of these mid-game fights, and they're capable of doing so with a massive Jarvan. So to me, I think they didn't need to go double Proto Belt here. They needed a Ludens, they needed a Spellbinder on the Vladimir and Lissandra.
All right, Tibbs might be looking to get aggressive. Has Hands of Blood GG coming in to back up Rhynex, though. Looking to go in. World Ender will be propping. Here comes DTS to join the fight. Uses the ultimate on the Cataclysm as Tibbs really wants that reset. Here comes DTS looking for Rhynex. Hands of Blood GG is going to get ignited with the Flag and Drag, will keep him safe. Bit of split target selection there from First Blood, and neither goes down.
Yeah, actually really, really clean decision-making there from the side of Grim. They were able to get both people out because they were terrified of losing. Because First Blood aggressed and tried to get both kills, they were able to call that bluff and just end up getting both people out. Really well played. Both flashes burnt on their engage tools, but it's worth it to keep both of them alive. No Dragon start either, because the mid lane is pushed up by the Vladimir. So, not really any punishment here for that play other than the Lost Summoners.
Primify finds the Glacial Augment Slow, looking for the Tangle Bards. The Tangle Pool is going to block it. Do not take that Q, I beg of you. Or do. That'd actually be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd love to see him try to outplay that. Try to outplay the Morgana Q on his way in. Like ward hop, like mid-Q ward hop to avoid the thing and then kick Morgana in. Oh, would have been.
That would be a clip for the top play segment if I've ever seen one.
That would be #1 play. I wouldn't have let you put anything else at #1. Like, that would have been so clean.
I was promised at First Blood we're going to give you plenty of content, and they forced the flash out of Ikea. By the way, for those of you that do not know what we're talking about, we are going to be releasing a lot of new content this season. First of all, being a top plays segment created every single week to highlight the best plays around the Rift. If you have plays you would like to put in, make sure to clip them in the chat, but we might see some plays here as Ikea takes down DTS. A great Cataclysm locks into Tibbs. No World Ender available, and now he has to run. Caitlyn ace in the hole. It's gonna find the triple kill as it's Grim Legion finding everything.
That was gorgeous. Big thing was the engage again. The Lissandra, the Jarvan, able to stay alive on the front line, able to bring the CC and the front-loaded damage. And then it's Ikea. This is the guy we've been talking about up until this point. He had so many resources poured into him in the draft. Didn't show up game 1. It's just now. 3 kills, able to work front to back in this fight, got the Kiana off, and then he killed the rest of the team just off the back of good trap placement, good auto attacks all across the board. And again, Sleepy Bulbasaur back there, making sure he doesn't die in that process. Fantastic work by this bot lane. Really, I think Grim's in the driver's seat now.
They absolutely are, sitting 3,000 gold above their opponents. The 4-0 Jarvan, the 5-1 Caitlyn, she is well on her way to start scaling here. Is going for the Zeal item second. We've seen a lot of popularity with the new full attack damage build, going the Essence Reaver just straight into like things like a Bloodthirster, because Caitlyn doesn't scale extremely well with attack speed, but if that does go into a rapid fire cannon, it does allow her a little bit more safety to position around these team fights.
That it does. I really don't have issues with that at the moment. I do think there's one big problem also from the side of First Blood. It's like, this is an early game focused team. Again, they have Aatrox, they have Lee Sin, they have Tiana, they have all that. But the thing is also, they're not really building for late game either. This isn't a late game Aatrox or Aatrox build yet. This isn't late game Kiana yet. This is very early game focused still. So is the Nico. Nico's on the Glacial Hog. You're talking, this is support Lux. This damage is actually going to run out pretty quickly. Like, they're probably going to fall off somewhere in the 25 to 30 minute point with their damage when it comes around. But after that, they're not going to have any more to work with. Whereas, like I said, this Caitlyn, this Vladimir, they're going to get massive as this game goes on. If it gets to that point, I'm terrified what happens to First Blood, because they're just going to get run over and fight.
They absolutely will. Right now, all of the damage is really sitting on DTS here. Prima Faya has gone for a very heavy utility build with the Glacial Augment, going the Hextech GLP and the Twin Shadows. Has plenty of slows available to run people down, but not a lot of burst damage. And this Lux as well, going for the supportive build. It's really just DTS that has the actual damage.
Yeah. I think there's something important also is I want to see Sleepy Bulbasaur build.
He looks the forward hop into the kick though, and the Kiana is gonna take down Ikea. Beautiful play there by Mike into the back line. The Black Shield used on Bulbasaur.
Yeah, really, really weird. Again, I think Sleepy Bulbasaur must have thought he was going to try to take the Morgana because it's a little bit easier to get. But unfortunately, Akaya was the target. Again, they've caught him sleeping a couple times with this Black Shield. That's the one terrifying part about Sleepy Bulbasaur. Now if Baron goes down, it's going to be rough. First Blood finally gets a chance to come back into the game.
Grim Legion looking to stop this with a flash in the two-man Pop Blossom. And here comes a fight. Tibbs pops the World Ender looking to go onto Bulbasaur. But the stopwatch are going to keep him safe as Hands of Blood GG dunks onto Mike. That is the jungler down. Now DTS looking to find Khan. Goes into the pool. Can he find DTS? The flash away. Tang, does he have the damage? DTS does. As Tibbs finds a shutdown onto GG. And the ace in the hole is able to find one on the backhand. Tibbs now in a 1v3 gets binded up. The trap's coming through. Ikea grabs a double kill. And it is a 4 for 2, I believe, in favor of Grim Legion. They are just winning fight after fight.
Yeah, it was 4 for 3. Akaya went down to start that fight off. That's actually why they were on the Baron to start things off. I know you definitely knew that. It was just during that fight it was 4 for 2. But the reason why that fight was even taken by First Blood was because Akaya was down. Then this perfect stall. Ryanek has this the locket. He has his own aftershock. He has his ultimate to stall out. And then you have the Jarvan capability of stalling out. Vladimir on the back line, able to stall time. They got Akaya back into the fight, and that's when they start winning. This team can stall so well for their ADC. All they have to do is enable him to win. When he's on 3-4 items, I think the game's over.
They absolutely do. The scaling's starting to come through. We were worried that they wouldn't be able to last long enough to bring it online, but a beautiful turnaround here from Grim Legion. This does not look like the same team that we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, like I said, I think they came into this game with a sense of domination, a sense of superiority at minimum. And the issue wasn't that they aren't superior. The issue is that a worse team would be doing worse in this situation. A worse team might have already lost in this situation. But again, I don't think they're used to playing in this position. They're not used to playing as the team from behind. So we have to see kind of how they adapt.
Now both teams looking for this Ocean Dragon down to 2,000 health. Will they be able to secure this? Mike not even going to look for the play. It's going to be First Blood giving that one over to Grim Legion here. And it seems like First Blood, they have realized that they are starting to lose these fights. And a little bit more cautious in where they actually pick that aggression.
That's good. That's what you want from the side of First Blood. Of course, they're the team that has a little bit less scaling. They have to try to find things, but don't do dumb stuff.
However, this is something you do not want to let go without a fight, and Tibbs using the teleport immediately to get in behind the team. Has a World Ender available. Nice ultimate from Kiana. They're able to take down Bulbasaur, and they're just rolling over this fight. Khan goes into Sanguine Pool. The shutdown onto the Jarvan. Now Pop Blossom being channeled immediately as he comes out, finds the two. Brimfire a double kill onto Rhynek and Khan. And now IKEA, the only remaining member, but he is caught on the wrong side of the map. Triple kill for the Nico, and the almost clean ace coming through from First Blood.
Really sad time there. Kaya almost snuck his way out with a back. Again, this fight was just super good because Kiana, DTS, put the team on his back right there. That humongous ultimate was able to get everybody stunned up. No black shield even protected away from it. So just able to get perfect alignment for that ultimate to come off and do all of that. And then from that point, the game was basically over. For a short portion there, Akaya was in a perfect position above the fight to be able to auto-aim. They started to win a little bit, but then he got pushed out, and that's when they lost the fight definitively. Maybe Bulbasaur
The rest of the team has responded. This Baron is still alive. He does not get there in time for the steal, though, and now he's just going to trade back his own life. Hands of Blood GG falling down. And you can see without the ADC, they do have a tough time actually melting through the Baron. Hands of Blood almost respawns in time to save that one. But just barely too late.
It was very, very close. It was a good attempt. I think it was, I don't know if it was a worthwhile attempt for Hands of Blood. I think he probably could have just stayed out. But obviously, if he thought there was even a chance of getting into that Baron and getting that smite off to be able to win, he could have done it. It was very close, as you said, but certainly this does give First Blood back the driver's seat in the game. They have been losing fights pretty consistently. This gives them the option to try to take down some of these outer towers and get better flank angles for the Lee Sin, for the Kiana, for the Aatrox to get onto Akaya. Because if she gets, again, that 3-4 right mark.
Oh, DTS going in. Nice ultimate, just blows up the Vladimir before he even gets a chance to use the Sanguine Pool or the ultimate. That was a disgusting combo from DTS.
She's strong right now. She has triple lethality items at the moment. And of course, Vladimir has no armor. Why would he? Why would he have armor against the like triple AD team with like very little AP damage? Like he just needs to have more armor. Again, the itemization from this team is incredibly confusing to this point. I don't think that's changing much. I think they're just defaulting to what their champions typically will.
Right going in for the flash, stun on Lee Sin under the turret. The Warthog to safety though. Can he get out? Ace in the hole, not enough. The shields from Lux are too big, but Lissandra is going to fall. Meanwhile, Tibbs cracks the base on the top side. Inhibitor exposed. Pairing up minions, pushing in on all sides now. As we see First Blood Marauders really starting to take control of this game.
Yeah. And again, this is just all off the back of some definitive play. It feels just like every single time they want a fight, they're already committed to it before it even starts, as opposed to just kind of questioning what's going on.
Now First Blood continuing to look the flash. Lee Sin kick, insect the Caitlyn into the team. She's going to fall. Now Khan is the next one to be targeted. Redemption not gonna be enough. As now Tibbs looking for the Morgana, goes into the stasis, the black shield, but not gonna stop the physical damage. Double kill there for Tibbs. And now with only Rhynek back on the map, this is looking like a 2-0 sweep coming from our undefeated team, continuing their streak of not dropping a single game in this season 7. Rhynek stunned against the Nexus, now has to run away to the safety of his own fountain. Will it even be enough? Teleports coming through, and there you have it. First Blood Marauders continue their domination.
You know, the entire time, Grin was, you know, the team ahead. They were the ones that had the advantage. Their fights, and all it took was some decisive play. When it came to being decisive, choosing exactly what to do, committing to it, communication as a team,
That
it just looked like First Blood was way ahead.
This time around, it wasn't in the cards for Grim Legion. However, they did fight valiantly. That second game, one of the closest we've seen against First Blood all season. They had a very strong early lead. They just were not able to actually close it out. So I think they have proven that, you know, maybe they don't belong at the bottom of the standings. They've had an extremely rough schedule coming into the start of the ABL. So perhaps going forward, they can pick up some wins and start to move up those standings.
that they can. And again, as we said, Akaya actually looked very, very good in this one. I thought Hands of Blood was a really good on this Jarvan pick. For game one was a little bit rough, but this one was certainly a lot better. Khan showed some solid flanks, some solid play. Sleepy Bulbasaur was amazing in game two. So, there are things. I think it's also we saw some chinks in the armor here for First Blood. I think we saw when their early game kind of goes awry, they do kind of start backing off. They stop getting as aggressive, and there's ways to push the pressure, push the tempo, so you can take advantage of a team like that. And I think this was the first time we really saw them actually struggle in a game.
All right, well, we are going to be looking to chat with one of the members of First Blood Marauders here. We'll see if we can get one of their players in for an interview. Who would you like to talk to?
The two I think that just popped off today were DTS and Mike. Personally, I think Mike did amazing. Mike was great in game one on the Gragas, and game two, he was definitive. DTS were both definitive in terms of their engages and how fast they were willing to do things. It just looked like Mike was what was getting them advantages early. If it weren't for Mike's play, they would have been a lot further down. DTS would have had great ultimates, but there have been no follow-up, so I got to give it to Mike, honestly.
All right, well, we are going to be having First Blood Marauders Mike joining us here on the caster desk. You guys just had a very convincing win against Grim Legion. Your game one was the fastest we have had this season. How did that feel for you?
What can I say, man? It was like time flew. Like we were in game and we were out of game. It was a lot of fun.
I had the same feeling, and going up against, you guys have been undefeated going up against Grim Legion, who have not picked up a single win. Is this, how you expected it to go?
Yeah. Like I don't want to be on them, right? Because the second game they did put up a real fight, right? Like against any other team in this tournament, I think with the lead they had, they would have won. But there's no outdoing us. That's all it is. But they definitely turned it around the second game, which none of us expected and was really surprising.
You guys did a really good job bringing it back, though. I do want to ask a little bit about that Kiana that you guys brought out both games. Very new champion to League. How much practice have you guys actually been able to put in on it?
DTS himself, I know, has gotten a lot of practice. He spams the champ all day in solo queue. I believe we played it last week in ABL. And I think that's the only real practice we've had with it in a team setting. So a lot of what we're doing with the champ, it's just DTS explaining to us like, hey, my ult can do this, I can set this up, and we're just following him in river fights and stuff like that.
I'm glad he's able to be that wealth of knowledge for you guys. Now, you have yet to drop a single game here coming into season 7. I expect that we can that you guys will continue that. Obviously, we're going for the undefeated season from First Blood. But are there any teams that you are a little worried about going up against going forward?
No. If anything, I'm let down that we have to wait so long to play the rest of the top teams. Like, I'm waiting patiently to play Recon and Team Fish Taco, but we're not really worried for them. We're more anticipating it.
All right, Rebel Fox, do you have any questions for First Blood's jungler here?
Yeah. So as we talked about, game 2, there was a lot of advantage onto the side of Grim. They did very, very well. But it looked like a couple of really definitive engages. And you also talked about, your mid laner DTS able to call out. Do you consider your communication, your decisiveness an advantage for your team?
Yeah, a lot of the time, like early on, we had a lot of trouble focusing on what we want to be doing as a team, especially when we're in fights, because we all try to do our own thing. But over time, we've come to more of a consensus when we're in fights on what we have to do. We understand that a lot of the time we just have to play front to back, especially with the team that we drafted. And I think our communication in this game really carried that for us.
Gotcha. The other question I had, obviously you played the Gragas game 1. You looked really good on that. Game 2 looked really good on the Lee Sin, some of those kicks and the flashes, whatnot, the really good plays, finding engages. Very solid. Do you consider yourself somebody that is that kind of playmaker, the decisive engage for your team?
Yeah, I play Lee Sin as a kick bot. Like I pick the champion because it can fight early and late game. If I play it correctly, it's a good engage. Yeah. So if I can, it's the same thing with Gragas really. It's just if I can set something up with either of their flashes along with their abilities, I can make something happen regardless of how behind I am. So it's kind of like get out of jail free card when I end.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for doing an interview with us. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory, and good luck going forward through the rest of the season.
Do you have any
Alright.
shout-outs?
Yeah, I want to shout out my boys here in the casting booth at ABL Stream 2. You know, they're really holding it down over here at the second stream. You know,
Best stream.
Their
yep,
color
their best
casters,
stream.
Fox.
Oh yeah, my color casters. I also want to give a shout out to my 80 carry for first timing Nico and not inting me. That was real nice of him. But yeah, that's about it.
Yes, and happy National Video Game Day to everybody. First Blood Marauders specifically with that 2-0 victory, really repping the gamers out there. All right, well, thank you, Mike, for joining us. We're going to be sending you back to your chat now. So I think that's going to more or less wrap it up for us here on the broadcast desk. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Remember, if you did enjoy the stream, you can subscribe right at the top, follow for more streams to come. And if you want to support us, you can donate as well. All the proceeds do come right back to the production team so we can make even better content for you guys. As always, I was your host and play-by-play audio adrenaline. Joining me today was Rebel Fox. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time.